All right, time to do some distance, time, and speed practice problems. We have practiced just speed in the past, so now it is time to practice the other rate problems. So we're going to start out by drawing that triangle. We're going to do that so that we can visualize what it is we're trying to find. Okay, so I'm going to do a few problems with you from each category. We see that we have the formula right here for speed, and that makes sense because what we are finding is what we are covering up, right? And so we are left then with the formula distance divided by time. This line here indicates a division, all right? Okay. So let's do a couple of practice problems with speed. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to write out my formula. Even though it's right above me there, I'm still going to get into the habit. I'm going to be in the habit of writing my formula down every single time. All right, so if a car travels 400 meters in 20 seconds, how fast is it going? Fast is speed, right? All right, so my distance is 400 meters. And my time is 20 seconds. All right, so I'm going to get my calculator out and I'm going to divide that, and that is going to be 20 meters per second. All right, let's take a look at another one here. Okay, I'm writing the formula down. If you move 50 meters in 10 seconds, what is your speed? It tells you right there what you are solving for, so I'm writing this formula down. All right, so my distance is 50 meters, and my time is 10 seconds. Divide that out. 50 divided by 10 is 5 meters per second. Okay? All right, so you will continue with finding speed using that exact same formula every single time you're writing it down and then putting your numbers in. Okay, so let's switch gears now and let's take a look at finding time. All right, so we have our distance, speed, time triangle, and this time we are trying to find time. So that is left, here is a formula for that. So time equals distance divided by speed. I'm going to write that formula every single time. So how much time? So it tells us there what we're solving for. Will it take for a bug to travel 5 meters across the floor if it is traveling at 1 meter per second? Okay, so that's pretty fast. All right, so my distance is 5 meters. And my speed is 1 meter per second. I know that that is a speed number because it has 2 units, a distance and a time. So I'm going to put this in the calculator. I don't even need to do that. 5 divided by 1 is 5. All right, so now we're ready for our units. When we were up here with speed, we needed to use both of those units, okay? But let's take a look at what we have here. And what we are able to do here is we are able to cross out like units. So if we look up here, I've got meters up here and meters down here. What am I left with is seconds. So what I'm going to look at, does 5 seconds make sense for a time measurement, for a time story problem? Yeah, it does, because seconds is a unit for time. So how long does it take this bug to travel across the floor? It takes 5 seconds for that bug to travel across the floor. Makes sense. All right, so let's take a look at another one here. So I'm going to write the formula down. Time equals distance divided by speed. You need to get to class 200 meters away, and you can only walk in the hallways at about 1.5 meters per second. If you run any faster, you'll get caught for running. How much time, all right, will it take you to get to class? All right, so there I'm verifying what it is I'm trying to solve. I'm trying to solve for time. All right, so I write my formula down. So what is my distance? 200 meters. And what is my time? Or sorry, what is my speed? 1.5 meters per second, all right? So I have this measurement for my distance and this measurement for my speed. I know it is speed because it is a two-part increment, a distance and a time. All right, so I put that in my calculator, and what do I come up with? It's 133.3. All right, now I am ready for my units. Okay, so I'm going to cross off units that are the same. Meters here and meters here, leaving me just seconds. So now I'm able to use that as my unit there, okay? So does that make sense? How long is it going to take me? It's going to take me 133.3 seconds to get to class, all right? So that is time. So do the exact same thing down there for that problem. All right, so let's come and do some distance. Once again, we're going to write our triangle here. So we have distance equals speed and time, okay? All right, so what am I trying to solve for this time? I'm trying to solve for distance. So I'm covering up what it is I'm trying to solve for. And then I see the formula right here. Now, we know that if numbers are right next to each other, it's going to be multiplication. So I'm going to multiply these two numbers together, okay? All right, so I'm going to write out my formula. Distance equals speed times time. All right, so how far can you get away from your little brother with a squirt gun, with his squirt gun filled with water, if you can travel at 3 meters per second and you have 15 seconds before he sees you? All right, so time to plug in my numbers. What do I have? I'm looking for my speed first. There is my speed. So 3 meters per second. All right, and then I'm looking for my time, 15 seconds. So I have to multiply these two together, multiply these two together. So right next to each other here. So I'm going to do multiply 3 times 15, which is 45. Now, I am looking at my units. I have meters per second here and seconds here. I'm going to cross off what's the same. What is the same here? Seconds. What is the same here? Seconds. What am I left with? Meters. Okay, so let's look at that. How far? I'm solving for distance, and my answer is 45 meters. That makes sense. All right, so how far? So that's distance. So let's write the formula out. Distance equals speed times time. All right, so now we're ready to look for my speed. Okay, so how far can your little brother get if he can travel at 2.5 meters per second? And in 5 seconds, you will discover that his squirt gun has run out of paint. Okay, so let's look at speed. I know that this is my speed unit because it has 2 parts to it, a distance and a time. And I'm going to multiply that by 5 seconds, which is my time. 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to put this into my calculator, and 2.5 times 5 equals 12.5. All right, now I am ready for my unit. I'm going to cross off what is the same between these two. Okay, what am I left with? Meters, and that is my unit. Okay. Or I could have just had meters like so. Does that make sense? 12.5 meters if I'm trying to find distance? Sure does, because distance is how far something is away, and meters is a distance measurement. Okay, so I want you to go back and I want you to finish the rest of these problems on your own. Try this challenge problem if you would like to. All right? Reach out if you have any questions, but bottom line, put the formula down. Write the formula down. Write the formula down, folks. All right, every single time. Write it down. Honestly, if you do this, you'll be able to visualize what numbers you need to use. And then after you multiply or divide, make sure you are looking at the units. Can you cross anything off? Are there like units that you can cross off? If so, do so, all right?